Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Amplify. I'm Nicholas Dogulin, an account partner in the developer team at REA Group and your host for today. Unfortunately, Ali Lovell, who was meant to be your host, is unwell and I'm subbing in for her. Get well soon, Ali. I'm joined by Blair Dowding, a senior product manager in the developer and new homes market here at REA and responsible for Amplify. We're so excited you've joined us today because we're going to show you something that's been delivering remarkable results for developments across Australia. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people joining us today. So it wouldn't be an RA webinar if we didn't kick off with a hype reel to introduce what we're here to talk about today.
Get all the right eyes on your project with new Amplify Project Profile add-on. Amplify features your project on the homepage for engaged buyers searching nearby, getting you better results with 30% more views on your project profile and boosting your project leads by up to 29%. Plus, track your campaign performance with brand new reporting in Ignite. Supercharge your project profile by speaking to your account partner today.
So that's Amplify in a nutshell, but there's so much more to show you. Before we get into our agenda, I wanted to share a real customer win that's happened in the last couple of months. A customer of ours with a project in Sydney's Upper North Shore region was struggling with lead generation after the initial launch buzz died down. They tried Amplify, and in just 30 days, they saw a whopping 125% increase in project profile leads. 125%, and that is not a typo, you are hearing it correctly. And by the end of today's session, you'll know exactly how they did it. So for the next 30 minutes, Blair and I are going to walk you through everything you need to know about Amplify. What is it and how does it work? How the targeting finds your ideal buyers and expands your reach. The setup tips and tricks that separate good results from exceptional results. 4 real case studies driving quantified impact to project campaigns. How to track your performance in our new Ignite project dashboard. And of course, your questions answered, so please pop them into the chat throughout the session. You'll also note that there are QR codes throughout, so have your phone handy to save any links you might want to look back on later. We will also have a recording of the session today, which will be sent out in the newsletter later this week. But let's start with the fundamentals. So Blair, what exactly is Amplify?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. So let me start with this. Your project profile is already working hard to capture buyers who are actively searching. It's a really powerful tool. Amplify takes that a step further by letting your project command top spot in the most premium real estate possible, the homepage of realestate.com.au. So what does that premium homepage placement mean for your business? Well, first off, you're putting your project up in lights on our homepage. 11.5 million Australians visit realestate.com.au every month. So that is massive reach and it's working. Developers using Amplify are achieving, on average, 30% more views and 29% more leads compared to when running their project profile without Amplify. And that's on average. Nick shared earlier his client story of 145% uplift. And we've been so thrilled with the results. And honestly, many of them have surprised even us. But here's the key. It's not just about getting in front of more people. It's about getting in front of the right people. And so you can think of this as giving your project profile VIP treatment while casting a wider and smarter net. But what do I mean by smarter exactly? So the smarts is in our fully automated targeting approach. To ensure that every impression counts, we look at 3 criteria. First is our new home buyers overlay. They must be classified as an active buyer in our behavioral data model, and they must have shown interest in new homes specifically. They can do this by interacting with the project profile or a developer listing in the last 60 days. Then we look at price range. So have they previously engaged with listings priced similarly to your project profile's price range and any child listing that you have on there? If so, they're on the list. And finally, we look at suburb interest. So they need to have engaged deeply with listings in your project profile's location or any of its surrounding suburbs. That surrounding suburbs overlay helps you run your project profile beyond the suburb it is listed in, which is another benefit of the product. Now, we've done all this hard work. We really want these buyers to remember your project. So we allow your ad to be served in up to 7 separate browsing sessions for each buyer that we've targeted, which is a good segue into the halo effect. So this could be the most important thing I cover today. Amplify doesn't just deliver direct clicks and leads. It significantly improves your project profile's organic performance too. So when qualified buyers see your project in that premium homepage position, even if they don't click it immediately, you're now registered in their mind. And so when they search and they find your project profile organically, and we've seen this in the data time and time again, they're far more likely to engage and click on your listing. Let's take a closer look at this example. So the red dotted line that you can see there, that's showing the average views over the 90 days prior to Amplify. All that dark purple just above it, those viewers arrived via the search results, and this is highlighting the organic uplift Amplify has created through awareness. And finally, that light purple, these are the viewers that clicked on the ad itself. So you can see from all that additional dark purple above the benchmark line, the direct click attribution is just part of the story. And so that's what the halo effect is. And given that a project profile leads conversion to sale is high versus other offerings, this is such a powerful aspect of this new product. All right, next up, I want to show you just how simple the process of running one of these campaigns is. There's no briefing required, like none. So we all know the drill, right? You decide to purchase an add-on, the flood of setup admin hits you, you got to get these assets ready, tweak these, send them back, do a few rounds of reviews. All right, we've got them, email them over or fill out this 5-step form, load it into that system multiple times per campaign, for every project. Not exactly how you want to spend your day, I'm sure. Amplify eliminates all of that. This is our first zero-touch add-on. Zero touch, nothing you need to do. Hypothetically speaking, once you've signed that contract, it can be set up and running in under an hour. So how does that work? Amplify's core is built around a deep integration with your project profile assets. Everything comes directly from your existing project profile setup. The creative, the targeting, it's all driven from the information you already provided. This is by design. The halo effect is strong with Amplify, and this is why. We use the same imagery. They see it on the homepage. They're familiar with it, that image of your project. So they recognize it and they see it again later in search and they click on it. All right. Hopefully I've helped build an understanding of what Amplify is, how it works and why it works well. I'm going to hand you back over to Nick, and he's going to take you through how to maximize your result. And then he'll dive into some real case studies for us.
Thanks, Blair. Before I jump into best practice and how to get the most out of your Amplify campaign, you might be asking, when exactly is the best time to add Amplify to my project campaign? We know that new developments have a much longer life cycle than established home listings. So when is the best time to use Amplify throughout your project marketing campaign to re-engage buyers? Well, there are a few scenarios. Firstly, when there's a sales launch acceleration required. So after your pre-sales phase, when you're moving into active sales. This is when you need maximum visibility to build momentum. Next, when you have a new stage release. So when you're releasing new stock or stages, Amplify ensures your latest inventory gets premium exposure to qualified buyers. You also have special offers and incentives. So when you have limited time offers like 5% deposits or first home buyer incentives, the homepage placement amplifies these offers to the right audience. or when you have new renders or imagery available, Amplify presents a great opportunity to magnify the benefits of your latest creatives. Or when you have construction milestones. At key moments like topping out, completion, or handover announcements, these milestones create urgency and Amplify capitalizes on that. Or when you need market saturation. When your area becomes crowded with competitors, Amplify helps you cut through the noise with premium positioning. But regardless of timing, there are 5 optimization principles that will maximize your results. These 5 tips are what separate the developers seeing a minimum improvement from those seeing maximum impact. So tip 1 is hero image excellence. Photography or renders of built form, so not lifestyle or community shots, outperform lifestyle imagery by 40%. Buyers want to see the actual property, not generic lifestyle or what is around in the community shots. Save the lifestyle imagery for other marketing. Amplify needs property-focused visuals. Our second tip is clean creative strategy. No text overlays, no badges, no graphics on your hero image. Why? Because the Amplify format already includes your project name, price, and key details. Additional text just clutters the message and reduces the impact. Our third tip is to complete the profile optimization. Incomplete profiles perform 25% worse. So make sure every field is filled. Include your address, pricing, project status, downloads, floor plans, and amenities. This data feeds both the targeting and the creative. Our fourth tip is stock variety advantage. Projects with diverse price points and property types see 35% better results. 1 bedrooms for investors, 3 bedrooms for families, penthouses for luxury buyers. Give the targeting algorithm options to match different buyer profiles. And our 5th tip is data foundation. That 3-month recommendation isn't arbitrary. The more behavioral data we have about who engages with your project, the better we can target similar prospects. This data compounds over time, making your campaigns more effective. Okay, so let's take a look at what happens when you get all of this right. We mentioned some incredible results at the start of the webinar. So let's take a closer look at what we're seeing across the nation so far from real-life Amplify in action and those who are following our 5 best practice tips. So we'll start in Sydney's inner west region, where we had a high-rise development that had been online for 12 months. The developer wanted to maximize awareness for the release of a more premium and higher priced apartment. Amplify was the perfect fit in this scenario to promote their new collection. They followed our advice perfectly. They'd been on site for over 3 months. They optimized the hero image to photography of the actual building. They completed every recommended field in their project profile, and with a wide price range of stock on offer. Their results saw a 90% increase in project views and a 22% increase in leads. Next, we're looking at land development in Geelong's growth corridor. Great project, but buyers weren't naturally searching in their specific suburb. They used Amplify's surrounding suburb targeting to reach buyers who had been actively looking in neighbouring Geelong areas. They implemented all 5 of our optimization tips, particularly the stock variety principle, so diverse price points from affordable to premium land packages. And their result saw a 96% increase in project views and a 125% increase in leads. This shows the power of intelligent geographic expansion, finding qualified buyers who are already considering the broader Geelong region, but might not have discovered this particular location. The Suburb Insights and Ignite showed them exactly which suburbs or surrounding Geelong suburbs were driving their new buyer interest. Blair will cover this surrounding suburb a little later on. Lastly, We have a project here in Canberra's inner north, incredibly saturated market. The project has been online for 24 months. Construction was finished. They needed to cut through the noise. They followed best practice and leveraged Amplify's premium homepage positioning to stand out from the crowd. Perfect timing too. They launched during their final sales push with completion incentives. This result saw a 44% increase in project views and a 149% increase in leads. In a market flooded with options, they became the standout project. That's the power of Amplify. 3 different markets, 3 different challenges, but notice the pattern. All 3 followed best practice advice. All 3 saw substantial results. And here's the key. All 3 renewed their Amplify campaigns. When you see results like 90% more views and 125% more leads, the decision to continue becomes pretty straightforward. And remember, those numbers represent the total impact. So both the direct Amplify performance and that halo effect that Blair was explaining, where Amplify actually boosts your overall project profile performance too. So Blair, how do they track these results and see this kind of combined performance data in detail?
Okay, so obviously tracking your results properly is crucial. We've actually launched Amplify alongside a raft of major Ignite upgrades that help you easily monitor your project advertising performance. So previously, you had to piece together data from different product reports, but now it's all rolled up in a one unified view of your project. We call it project-centric reporting. And let me walk you through exactly how we're evolving Ignite into the command center for your project advertising. Okay. Here is the project dashboard page, and as you can see, it's a unified view. It includes all of the advertising products used for this project. We've got your project profile and its Amplify campaign, along with display, audience extension, sponsored content, and EDM campaigns. So it really is the full story. And it starts with this 3-component lockup here. So we have the graph component to monitor trends over time, table component beneath the graph for your key metric totals by product, and the snapshots to the right of the graph for your metric totals by project across everything. It's never been easier for you to see how each product contributes to your holistic project ROI and how they work together to drive a bigger and a better result. So let me take you on a really quick tour of the functionality here, just so that you can make the most of it. So the graph, each color in the graph represents a different product, and it allows you to view the trends over time for views or leads. Just above those bars, that's where we keep the customization buttons for the page. So you've got lots of ways to slice and view the data on this page. You can customize the date range to whatever you need. You can view the graph data by different time periods, whether it's daily or weekly or monthly increments, like whatever works best for you. You can toggle which metric is being graphed. We support views and leads at the moment. And if you mouse over any of those bars, a lot more info will appear, like, for example, the percentage change from the previous month. Okay, now we're looking at the table. So this shows the aggregated metrics per product. So let's say you've selected the last 6 months for the report. The table will show you totals by product for each of the metrics you see here. And you see those checkboxes? You can select and deselect products using those, and that will update your data throughout the page. So let's say you wanted to focus on display for a moment. You can just have display selected, and the graph and the snapshots, they'll all focus around that product only. Now, there's also a range of really useful features within that 3-dot menu that you can see on the far right of the table there. You can preview your project. What would it look like if amplified on our homepage? You can do that whenever, even if you're not running Amplify, that preview feature is always there. You can click through to any of the product report pages. Maybe you want to deep dive on creative performance for display. There's a view active campaigns button inside that menu, and that's going to take you to a report focused entirely on that display campaign. You can also use it to help guide your date selections. Let's say you want to focus the time period where your EDMs were sent. Within that drop down, there's an edit dates option, and that's going to bring up a view that highlights the dates where those EDMs went out for you so that you can quickly and easily focus the report around that. All right, and a quick one on Amplify. So the table, that's showing Amplify's click attribution results, right? So that's the people who've actually clicked on your Amplify ad. We count that click as a project profile page view that can be directly attributed to Amplify. And if they then go on to inquire, we count that as a project profile lead that can be directly attributed to Amplify. But here's what's crucial to understand. And as I've said earlier, it's not the full story. Amplify will have improved the metrics in your project profile row just above it as well. So to get a data point on the full value delivered when project profile and Amplify run together, you can look to the snapshot component. That's the third in this 3-component lockup. So just to the right of the graph, we've got a collection of snapshot metrics. First off, we have the halo effect insight right up the top. So you can easily get the full story on Amplify. So what we do here, we look at the 90 days of performance prior to Amplify starting, and we take the average daily views and leads for that period. Then we look at the average daily views and leads since Amplify began. And the difference there, that's the full story of Amplify and the halo effect, which in this case, you can see that Amplify resulted in a significant uplift in both views and leads since the project began. All right. Next, we have the totals for views, leads, and cost per lead. So this is the highest level of aggregation in the report, and they are the totals across all products that you have selected. So now you might be wondering about that last one, that bottom right one with the show suburbs button. This is the last thing I want to show you today, and trust me, you don't want to miss this one. So if you hit that button, or if you actually just scroll down on the page, at the bottom of the dashboard, you're going to see our suburb spotlight feature. This is a really powerful insight, and you can take this into account for any targeting-based advertising that you do today, and we really hope that this helps you get a better result. So what is it? This insight shows you which suburbs your buyers are most interested in. So we analyze all of the leads on your project, and for each, we build a suburb interest profile. Let's take a hypothetical, right? So imagine that we're looking into one lead on your project. Let's call him Richard. We analyze every listing Richard has engaged with over the last 90 days. And our data science models determine that Richard is most likely to inquire, save, share, or return to listings that are in Richmond, Hawthorne, and Carlton. That's his suburb interest profile. Each of those suburbs gets a point on this insight that you can see on the screen. So we do that for every lead on your project, and we add them all up to give you our suburb spotlight insight. So thanks to several engineers and data scientists working hard for many months, you now have powerful data that's bespoke to your project. And this is all a result of running your project profile. We don't charge any extra for this, and Ignite is free to use, but you need access to it. So everything I've shown you on Ignite today, the reporting, the halo effect, the suburb insights, it's all available in Ignite right now for all of you. It doesn't matter if you're the media agency, the developer, the project marketer, whether you purchase these things directly or not, every project that your business is working on is available in Ignite for you right now for free. So if you're not already set up, scan the QR code. You don't have to rush to scan it or anything. We're going to have this up throughout the Q&A. But it'll only take you a couple of minutes, and then you're going to be on your way to having on-demand visibility into your project's performance. And there's so many other valuable features waiting for you in there as well that we haven't covered today. Maybe you want to deep dive on your display campaign's creative performance. You can do that. If your project's about to hit a major milestone, and you can actually go into Ignite, update your project status, and drive that additional engagement. If you want to assess the quality of leads that are coming through to your sales team, you can review your leads inbox and have a look at all of the enriched leads that are coming through. So you can do that. You can do much, much more. So do yourself a favor, scan the code or chat to your account partner, because Ignite's here and it's ready for all of you. So before we wrap up, Nick and I are going to address some common questions that we've been getting about Amplify.
Thanks, Blair. So let's go through these together. So Blair, how does share of voice work with Amplify?
Yeah. So share of voice it's not applicable for Amplify because Amplify operates on behavioral logic. The audiences are created based on the 3 criteria buckets that we went through earlier.
Right. What happens when more than one project in the same suburb books Amplify at the same time?
Yeah, so in this scenario, we randomize the serving of the projects on the homepage. So there's no weighting that will prioritize or deprioritize the amount of time or frequency that your project will show. We randomize that list every time.
And can I book Amplify if my project has been online less than 3 months?
Yep. Our trial results indicate stronger performance from projects that have been online for longer. But if you have a major milestone that fits within those strategic timings that Nick covered earlier, yeah, absolutely nothing stopping you.
And how does Amplify differ from other homepage products?
So unlike other homepage products that display your project to all users visiting the site, Amplify is more strategic. So instead of paying for wasted impressions from consumers who are never going to consider your project, Amplify's targeting works to ensure that your project is presented to those who are specifically looking at new homes within your area and your price range. And so this targeted approach is more efficient and it's more effective use of your marketing spend.
And am I able to purchase Amplify for longer than 30 days?
Almost. So following the success of our 30-day product, we've had a lot of clients rebooking campaigns and they're booking multiples of our 30 days. So we're already deep in development around extending our current contract options so that we can support 60 and 90-day product options. So we're hoping to make some announcements around this product iteration in the not too distant future.
Excited about that one. Before we move on to questions from the audience, we would love to hear what you thought about today's session. So in a moment, you will see a poll appear on screen where you can tell us your feedback, and we'll leave that up for a moment. All right. So now we're into the Q&A section of the session. So I think let's just get straight into it. There is a QR code there. Please scan it and submit your questions, and we'll try and get to it throughout the session. And we've had a couple come through. So first one that we have is, can I target specific suburbs with Amplify?
So Amplify is not like other REA products. So rather than just targeting on a location basis, our sophisticated targeting logic will use real-time behavioral data to ensure that we're targeting customers who are the most likely to be interested in your project. And as a result, we are seeing an increase in project profile views and leads, and that targeting is working.
Right. Another question we got is, if 2 or more projects have the identical criteria, how do we cycle these to the user through Amplify?
So when 2 or more projects have near identical criteria, we randomize the serving of the projects on the homepage. So there's no weighting. We're not going to prioritize one over the other. It's randomized within the set of projects that are running that match that user's criteria. So that all happens really quickly. It all happens on the fly, like right on page load, but it's random.
And how does the Amplify lead feed into a customer's CRM? Like, is there a field that identifies the lead coming from Amplify? Great question.
Yeah. So Amplify leads feed through to a customer's CRM in the same way project profile leads come across. So whether you are scraping the information using an email passing solution, or if you're using our lead API, they're coming through as project profile leads. As it stands, there isn't a tag or like a piece of attribution that says this was an Amplify lead. That's something that we're absolutely looking into as a future experience within our Leads API. Yeah.
So what does the future of Amplify look like, and will there be any new features coming?
Yeah, so it's a very new product. It's a relatively new product, and we're really excited, and we're already thinking about ways that we could potentially enhance it in the future. So that's something that we're actively doing. We're excited about Amplify. We're going to continue to invest in Amplify. So as always, love hearing thoughts, feedback on our products. And please, like, if you have any thoughts or feedback, we're thinking about this right now. So reach out to your account partner if you'd like to share anything directly.
Great, thank you. Are there any final questions or any feedback? We'll leave it open for maybe a couple of seconds to see if anything feeds through. Thank you for your time today, Blair. That was sensational.
No worries. Thanks everyone for coming.
Wonderful. So that's it, guys. I think we'll wrap up this session. As we mentioned, this will be recorded and it'll be coming out in the next newsletter. But of course, reach out to your account partners, ask any questions you might have about Amplify. And I'm pretty sure our AEs are onto the IOs already for these Amplify campaigns. So I'm really excited to see that come through. All right, guys, have a sensational day and all the best. Have a great long weekend. Bye for now.
See you everyone. Bye.